Take a look at this couple. Soon they are going to attempt something seemingly impossible. You simply won't believe it. They will do things that will make your eyes pop out in amazement. This girl named Jess is telling her boyfriend Nick, "Look at that girl coming." 8 guys will turn to look at her, but her boyfriend Nick says, "No, 8 guys is too many. Only 5 guys will look, no more than that." A wealthy man was sitting a little distance behind them. He immediately says, "I think all of you are wrong. Only 3 guys will turn to look." Then it is seen that a total of 7 guys turn to look at the girl. And since 7 is closest to 8, Jess wins the bet. They had bet a total of $100. Now let me introduce you to this man. His name is Leon. He's a professional gambler. His job involves going to different games and placing bets. He makes a bet with Jess and Nick. Since he has become interested, he wants to place another bet with them in the future. This time, Leon was a bit more serious. Being a professional gambler, he easily defeated the other 2 consecutively, causing them to lose nearly $10,000. This made Nick and Jess quite determined. They decided to place another bet, predicting that the player in front would drop the ball. However, Leon confidently stated that this time the ball would be caught. But once again, Leon's prediction comes true, and Jess and Nick end up losing. Jess and Nick aren't very wealthy. Altogether, they have just a few $1,000,000. And what they have as their lifelong savings, if they gamble this money away, they will actually have no money left to live on. After losing 5 consecutive bets to Leon, they have lost half of their money. Despite having a lot of determination, Nika can't do anything. Then Leon starts to taunt them, saying that you need to be cautious when playing with the big players. Placing so many bets wasn't a good idea. Hearing this, Nick gets angry again and comes back. This time he wants to double his bet and puts $3 million on the line. Interestingly, he doesn't have $3 million. If he loses, there's no way he can pay the $3 million. But even then, he takes the risk. He places the bet and says, "Take the binoculars and pick any player from the entire field. I can tell you who you've chosen." Leon thinks the guy might have lost his mind this time because it's simply not possible. No one can know who he's choosing in his thoughts. So Leon starts to laugh and make fun of him. Nick then steps up and says, "You laugh and joke around so much. Alright, I won't guess who you'll choose. My girlfriend will figure it out." Hearing this, Sony pulls him aside and says, "We've already lost more than half of our money and we don't even have the betting money left. If we lose this time, we will have no option but to sell our kidneys." However, they will not lose faith in it as long as it remains reliable. He holds this belief. Although he can't quite grasp how Nick gained such a high level of confidence, he will soon understand the reason behind it. Meanwhile, Leon is scanning the entire field with binoculars, trying to spot any player to mark. He has noticed a player stealing multiple times and writes down that player's number on a piece of paper. Then, he hands the binoculars to Jess. Jess is asked to find the chosen player. Right now, Jess is completely clueless about who to pick and can't make sense of anything. After searching the entire field, suddenly a familiar face catches his eye. He understands that this is one of their own. That's when he realizes there must be some kind of plan. So he decides 55. Luckily, Leon had actually picked 55 when Jess mentioned 55. Leon felt like the sky was falling on his head. He couldn't comprehend how this could be possible. How did Jess figure out that Leon actually picked 55? To understand this, you need to go back a few days. Nick actually knew well in advance that Leon would be coming here. For this reason, he was pre-programming his mind. In psychology, this is known as predictive programming. It involves setting thoughts in the mind in advance to influence a person's decisions. Essentially, I can program your decisions in your mind beforehand. Nick carefully planned and repeatedly showcased the number 55 to Leon in a clear and engaging manner, and he brought the chosen person in front of him several times. That's why the person's face and the number 55 were deeply ingrained in Leon's subconscious mind. Not only that, but the number 55 was also beautifully embedded in several other places. For example, the chandelier design in his hotel featured the number 55, and the doorman's uniform also had the number 55. Leon even looked out of the car and saw the number 55 there. It turns out that Nick had planned everything in advance. Nick had written the number 55 in so many places. Every time Leon came to the hotel, he repeatedly saw the number 55 in his mind. As a result, the number 55 was deeply set in his subconscious mind. That's why Leon selected 55. When they came to watch the game, they purposely sat near Leon in the stands to try and influence him, to start gambling with them. Since Leon is a professional gambler, if he senses any hint of gambling nearby, he will immediately go to gamble. This is very natural for him. Nick came up with a brilliant master plan, played a game with Leon and managed to defeat him. Leon was left puzzled, not even realizing how he had been outsmarted.